Hello and welcome to another edition of the ICA ChiroCast. And again, we're going to do a ChiroCast here on the ICA Sports and Fitness Science Council. I'm Dr. Brant Hulsebus. I'm a chiropractor here in Rockford, Illinois. And I want to introduce my good friend, Dr. Alan Palmer. Dr. Alan Palmer, you want to say hello?
Okay. Hi, how you doing, everybody? Good
So,
friend is right. Yeah. Love being your friend, buddy, because you're just a great guy, and you do so much for the profession, and so thanks. It's an honor to be here.
yeah, if you follow our podcast, Dr. Palmer should look familiar to you because I believe he's our first three-time guest who's not a board member. So we're excited to have him
Quite
back.
an honor.
And I met Dr. Palmer through hockey as a team chiropractor for an AHL hockey team. I got an invite a couple of years ago to join the Professional Hockey Chiropractic Society. And of course, this sounded pretty neat. I looked to see who was on it and I found Dr. Alan Palmer and we got connected. So we've talked about the Pro Hockey Chiropractic Society before. We have previous podcasts about that. But you guys have an event every year. You want to tell us about this year's event?
Yeah, absolutely. So we do an event in the summer, typically after the Stanley Cup playoffs are done. And we try not to, overlap with the Professional Hockey Athletic Trainer Society event and things like that. But we do an event in the summer. We call it our Professional Hockey Chiropractic Society annual workshop. And this will be our seventh annual that we're having up in Minnesota, in Bloomington, Minnesota, the end of July, July 25th and 26th.
This is a seminar, and you guys will probably have a dynamite lineup if I know you.
Yeah, we do have, we're blessed with a pretty good lineup of speakers. Yeah, we've got six different speakers. So, across the gamut, we try to pull from some team chiropractors, that work with teams in professional sports and hockey specific if we can. And we've got that. We have a couple strength coaches, one that runs a whole protocol on working with balancing the structure of the body, not through manipulation or adjustments, but through a rehab and other kinds of things. And they've got both our strength coaches have a really rich background working with NHL teams. And we've got an MD that is one of the doctors for the Minnesota Wild. We have an athletic trainer that's one of the athletic trainers for the Minnesota Frost, the two-time champion Minnesota Frost, women's professional hockey league team. We have Craig Couliard, who is a chiropractor, in Minnesota, and he's also the AAA chiropractor for the St. Paul Saints. And for you hockey folks out there, he is the chiropractor for Shattuck-St. Mary's, which is like the premier hockey school in the country, where the best of the best upcoming, teenage players go there. Their families send them there, and they become NHL superstars like Sidney Crosby and some of the other superstars that went to Shattuck-St. Mary's. So he's their chiropractor. And, like yourself, he's been a president of the Chiropractic Association. He speaks all over on various topics. He's going to be great. And lastly, we have Steve Capobianco from Rock Tape. And he's one of our all-time most popular speakers between the Professional Baseball and Hockey Chiropractic Society. He's just a great educator, and he always brings a science about kinesiology tape and some really cool studies and shows amazing techniques. And so, yeah, so we've got a really great lineup.
You crossed over to women's hockey this year too. It's going to include them as part of this. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we're working to kind of build that out, if you will, and maybe put it that way. We're identifying chiropractors are already working with the teams, and for the teams that don't have them, we're working to try to place chiropractors with those teams. So, one of our chiropractors that works with our board and our group, Jeff Walk from Minnesota, he's the chiropractor for the Minnesota Frost, and he's been working with the medical coordinator for the whole league. And they're adding a couple more teams each year, it seems like now. So they've expanded from six to eight. They plan to, I think, do 10 next year. So it's incredibly popular, which is really great to see, And of course, the women's, sorry for you Canadian docs there, but the women USA team, of course, bringing home the gold this year, like the men's team, right? And, the Minnesota Frost had, I think it was 8 or 10 players in the Olympics, six of them on Team USA, a couple on Team Canada, a couple on one of the other teams from Europe. And so, yeah, so I mean, it's exciting to see what's happening with women's hockey as well.
At my hometown, they have always had a collective high school men's team. Next year is the first year of the collective girls team. So it's really catching on all over the place. It's fun to watch it grow.
Yeah, that's exciting to see. Yeah, I think that's great. I think it's really great for
Now
sure.
the people you're marketing this to, you're advertising to, I think there's a conception that you have to be a pro hockey chiropractor to come. You want to discuss that a little
No, yeah.
bit?
Sure, yeah. Initially, we did that. So we started the baseball group about 13 years ago, and it was always just team chiropractors that would come to that, that would be invited to that for the first few years. And then I started the hockey one about 7 years ago. First couple of years, it was that way. It was just team chiropractors. But then, the boards decided, hey, we should really open this up to all chiropractors. So we did. And then we also eventually opened it up to students. So the last 2, 3 years, with both groups, we're inviting students to come on board. We're doing some scholarship programs for students and really embracing. We were talking about this a little before starting, coming on camera, Brant, but just embracing the excitement, the enthusiasm that students have for chiropractic and for sports chiropractic and becoming a sports chiropractor. It's infectious. I mean, it's just neat to be able to, as a chiropractor that's been truly blessed, to work with professional teams as long as I have and you have. It's fun to be able to pour our knowledge and our experience into these young kids because, they're the future, right? And so we get to pass the torch, and it's just really neat. So yeah, it's open to other healthcare professionals too. We've had MDs come, we've had strength coaches, athletic trainers, different people come. Not too many yet, but we're inviting them, and we would love to see more of them attend and show up as well.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe previously you said that you've actually had teams call you looking for a team chiropractor.
Yeah, so your associate, Nate Hayes, is we call him a minor league coordinator for the other hockey leagues, the AHL and ECHL, which are affiliated with the NHL, kind of their minor league system. But then there's also several other leagues below that are professional leagues. And so Nate has been, helping us with working to do that, to find spots where they don't have a chiropractor to offer his services, to really go out and do due diligence in finding qualified candidates for that team to potentially use, whatever small town they might be in, and or big city. And then go through a process of qualification, background check, board check, some of those different things, first interviews, and then once we qualify candidates, then we present them to the team to interview. And so yeah, and again, just because the baseball has been going on a lot longer, we've placed over 35 chiropractors with minor league teams on the baseball side, and Nate's working hard to catch up with that on the hockey side too. So it's really great because our thought is, if we can expose these young athletes, the young talent as they're coming up through the ranks to chiropractic care, and they see the amazing benefits to their performance and injury prevention and recovery, then by the time they work their way up, it's not only going to give them an advantage getting through the process, but once they work their way up, they're going to be used to getting chiropractic. So the utilization for chiropractic is going to continually go up in professional sports.
If I was a young chiropractor who said I wanted to become a hockey chiropractor, getting involved with this group would be a good way to get my foot in the door in the right direction.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And we also do a thing where we have some of our team chiropractors. We do an interview process at our event, with last year students. So it'd be students in their final year of chiropractic college, and helping just kind of helping them experience what it's like to be interviewed. And if one of these chiropractors has a place for a preceptorship situation or a possible need for an associate down the road, it gives the students an opportunity to kind of get their foot in the door maybe, and to be able to have that chance potentially.
Fantastic. Now we're going to go to Minnesota. We're going to see these speakers and all this stuff going on. Anything else like extraordinary that you wouldn't have the opportunity to do if you weren't part of this?
Yeah, and so one of the things that's pretty cool we've been doing from day one on the baseball side, when we actually held our events at spring training facilities in Arizona and Florida, but then now on the hockey side too, since our second year. First year we were in Breckenridge, Colorado, so there's no professional hockey team there. But then we went to Nashville, and we've been having them in NHL cities now. What we do is we do a tour of the training facility or the locker room and game facilities, depending on the scenario there, of the NHL team. So This year, we're going to be touring the Minnesota Wilds training facility, and they share that with the Minnesota Frost, the professional women's hockey league team. And so we're going to be touring that on Saturday evening. And Christina Neville, who's the Frost athletic trainer, is going to do a 1 hour presentation there at the facility for all of our attendees, which will be really cool. And so, yeah, that's kind of a that's just a sort of an extra bonus, if you will. It's a cool factor kind of thing, especially for chiropractors or students or our sponsors, who have never been behind the scenes in a professional team's locker room or training room, just to kind of see what they're like, because they're amazing, as you can imagine. They're like top notch, everything, at these facilities. So it's really fun to see behind the scenes. Yeah.
Chicago, I had fun pointing out Isaac Phillips' jersey because at that time his sister was in chiropractic college. So I told everyone on the tour they should, be half of an Isaac Phillips fan because of his sister being a chiropractor.
How cool is that? Yeah,
So,
that's very neat. I
well,
love it.
then you got quite a lineup of sponsors too that do these things. You mentioned the Rock Tape, but I learned there was quite a bit of cool sponsorship that happened too that I was able to bring back to my practice or with my athletes. You got some really unique, dynamic sponsors, yes?
Yeah, we do. We have a wide variety of sponsors from all kinds of things, from hyperbaric chambers to personal saunas to, soft wave, to, some nutritional products. Just a wide variety. We've got about 18 sponsors. So we have an exhibit area as well that you can, go and check out all the latest and greatest in these different types of technologies and sponsors. And a lot of times they have great show specials. So, if you're a chiropractor, you're looking to add something, to your practice that could really assist you with your results with patients, they have great specials oftentimes at the shows and things like that too. And they're just really wonderful people too. So we love having our attendees visit with them and just kind of see what they got to share.
I know one of my favorite parts of the weekend is just being able to sit down with other chiropractors in the hockey world, whether we're talking contracts, whether we're talking what we do with the games, even some of us talking about our dress code, like how are we supposed to dress during the games and kind of compare notes. It was a lot of fun to bring it back to my team. That's the one thing I would say if anyone's on the fence about coming, just be able to sit down and rub elbows with everybody and break bread and have maybe go to the bar afterwards and have a drink or two with people and get to really know people in other cities and talk about their experiences really brought a lot of that back to my experience. And if you're new to this, it's like a must. Those are my big takeaways. And Dr. Palmer, I'm going to give you the microphone one last time to include anything I might have left out, you might have left out that you'd like to bring up to our audience.
I think you did a great job. Thank you. And for the opportunity to be on here and just kind of share what we're doing. Yeah, so it's the 25th and 26th of July. I think, Doc, I think you're going to post the link. If you go to the link, you'll learn a lot more about the weekend. We're doing it actually too in a very family friendly location in that we're only about a mile from the Mall of America, which has a huge amusement park in it and so much to do, whether you want to bring your spouse so they can shop or you got kids to do the amusement park. Right next door almost to the mall is the Great Wolf Lodge where they have an indoor water park. And so it's not like the Wisconsin Dells. I know that you're familiar with the Dells up there in Wisconsin. It's not quite like Disneyland, in the Midwest, but there's those great family activities to do while you're in seminar that you can bring your family, because I know the summer is when a lot of people take their family vacations or they go on the weekends with the kids and everything too. Hey, this is one of those things that you could do. You can come and attend a great seminar and bring your kids and husband or wife and let them enjoy some of these recreational activities at the same time. So that's kind of a cool thing. And we're right by the airport too, so it's not hard to get to. I know when we had our event in Chicago, from O'Hare or Midway, there was quite a, it's a long distance to get to where our event was and everything. But here we're right at the airport. They even have a shuttle from the airport, so it's easy in, easy out. We were done by noon on Sunday, so people can fly out, and you really don't have to take much time off practice to come in because it's just all day Saturday until noon on Sunday. So I guess that's about all I can think about. But yeah, we'd love to invite anybody out and you can register right from that page where we have all the information.
I'll definitely post that link. No problems there. And you can always find more on the ICA Sports and Fitness Science Council page as well. We have direct links to the PHCS right there. So if you forget everything, just wherever you're watching this, listening to this, go to the links back where you got this, and you'll always find the links there. We've been partners with the Pro Hockey Chiropractic Society since the start. And so we're looking forward to meeting more of you in person. And Dr. Palmer, again, like always, thank you for joining us and being part of this podcast. We really appreciate you.
Well, I appreciate you and thank you for having me. And thanks for watching, everybody. Thank you.
And if you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe. There'll be more coming. And thanks for tuning in. Until next time.